Board. All right, well, welcome everyone. So grateful that you are here. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us tonight, today, wherever you are, and really being open to learning about something truly exciting, something that is revolutionizing in the field of regenerative science, age reversal. So I am Beth Blackmore. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a health and empowerment coach, having gone through my own health journey over 5 years ago, and I started making significant changes with my food choices, my lifestyle habits, resulting in a 60-pound weight loss. And so little did I know at that time that this was really the beginning of my conscious awakening. I ended up leaving my government career in HR, my government pension, due to the unjust mandates, to pursue my passion in helping people find their own inner power and take control of their health. So through this journey, I've become a dedicated learner, constantly learning and relearning, unlearning, and really being open to new information and embracing change. I feel, it's exciting to learn about all these things that we don't know. Recently, I've been exploring the whole realm of quantum biology, circadian rhythm, really harnessing the power of light and how that affects our health, waking up with the sun, eating shortly after waking. And I feel that embracing the power of light is the next phase of my health journey, of my evolution. So when my friend and fellow coach Rachel showed interest in this phototherapy patch, I knew that I had to take a closer look. With her medical background, I knew that Rachel would dive deep into the science behind the patch. So I invited Rachel on a call with my friend Diane Hunt, who's also on this Zoom today, and we'll hear her powerful testimonial a little later. So basically, we were blown away by the information you're about to hear about the technology, the company LIfewave, and the life-changing testimonials. So we signed up almost immediately. We put our first order in. Naturally, we shared the patches with people that we care most about, including our moms. My mom, who had knee pain for years, noticed significant relief in just a few days. Her physiotherapist that she was seeing noticed increased mobility, less inflammation, and asked what she was doing, what she was taking. And she said she wasn't doing anything differently except putting this light patch on her that her daughter gave her. So not only did her knee pain improve, but she also started experiencing deeper sleep, more energy and stamina that allowed her to return to her favorite activities, walking, gardening, swimming. For me, the benefits have been life-changing as well. I'm finally sleeping through the night, having vivid dreams, which is unheard of for me. I noticed this lower back compression issue that I had been dealing with for years had eased up within a week of patching. My energy, my mental clarity has improved, which is helping me keep up with everything on my plate. But what fires me up is that I know that the best is yet to come. My body is healing and repairing and age reversing, as you will soon discover. I'm excited of a big, thick mane of hair that's coming after some significant hair loss over the last few years. So before we dive into the formal part of the presentation, I would love to invite my friend and health practitioner, Rachel Maurice, who is co-hosting with me today. I'd love for her to introduce herself and share her inspiring journey with you.
Hi, thanks, Beth. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming and sharing your precious time with us here to learn about this incredible technology. So for those who don't know, I was a practicing anesthesiologist in Canada for close to 20 years. And I left in the fall of 2021. And in that time, I did not anticipate being gone, but I was taking the time that I had to do a lot of research, a lot more kind of diving into, just learning a lot of things outside of what I was taught in conventional medicine. And in that time period, I came across a neurosurgeon named Dr. Jack Kruse, for those who may be familiar with him. And he really rocked my world in terms of cracking the foundation of everything that I thought I knew, that I was taught in traditional medicine. And coming from the same background, obviously, and education as a surgeon, the same medical background, I was listening and paying close attention. And a lot of what he was saying was true, and coming from research that was there, just not widely known. And I dove a lot deeper, started doing research and coming across a lot of other people who understood the same thing, and it completely changed my understanding of how the body works and what health actually means. Because the system that I'd come from really was just a Band-Aid approach to symptoms and didn't really get at any of the root causes, and often caused more problems, which I saw in the 30 years that I was in healthcare. And so it was although it was very disturbing initially, it was very exciting because I love learning and I love putting pieces together and learning from people who know more and who have come kind of before me. And so what this all boiled down to was light and how light actually affects our physiology and our health upstream from all of the biochemistry and the physical parts of the body that we know and work around in most of even allied and alternative healthcare practicing and modalities in our world. And so I started diving into light and learning about light and all the things that go with it. And then I came across this phototherapy. So prior to this, it was all about my red light panels, which I loved. I still do love them. But this phototherapy technology, the patch, came at a time where my mom her health took a serious decline. And I didn't give the patch the due diligence in terms of my research initially. And then through a series of events, it came back into my life. And then, as Beth said, she introduced me to Diane. And again, Diane Hunt, we'll talk later, but she was a cardiac surgical nurse, and the issue with my mom had to do with her heart. And so Diane was sharing, I knew she was coming from the same background as everything that I had seen in my career, with the same, type of experiences and understanding. And she was showing me not only sort of subjective evidence, but really objective evidence with tests that we do in medicine. And the improvements in cardiac function, in heart function, was something that I had not seen in any way, shape, or form in my entire career. And so that was kind of the decision maker for me to jump right in and start with my mom. And of course, I don't want her to just be the guinea pig. So I got on the patches myself, and now both my kids are on them as well, for other reasons. But that was really the impetus for all of this. And although I did not have any major issues, because diving into all of the light stuff and changing my lifestyle really, really actually took my health to a whole other level. And that was in the previous year and a half. But I started sharing this because I was very excited about the technology. It all made sense with what I was learning. And I started to see miracles around me with everyone I was sharing with, which we will get into later, but literally things from people no longer needing reading glasses after 2 months to sciatica pain for 5 years disappearing in 3 hours. People sleeping through the night that they hadn't in years, and now just so many more incredible stories that we could sit here for hours talking about. But we will get on to the presentation, and then we'll hear more from people who are actually on the call today. Thanks, Beth.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so I am going to share my screen, and if you can let me know, maybe give me a thumbs up that you can see. Okay, perfect. All right, so my question for you is, are you ready to learn how to activate your body's own healing with the power of the patch? Because this isn't just any patch. What makes this patch so unique is that it supports your body's natural healing ability by using your own light. So I do want to say at the outset that this product is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. This is not a medical device that requires FDA approval. This patch is actually FDA recognized as a general wellness product. And so everything I present today, everything that we'll be talking about today will be discussed, will focus on general wellness. So addressing specific symptoms and experiences rather than those specific diseases and ailments. So talking about symptoms and what ails you, are you feeling older and frustrated that your body, your mind aren't functioning like they used to? Does it feel like you've hit a wall and it's all downhill from here? Maybe you have low energy, inflammation, mobility issues that are stopping you, preventing you from living your best life. So now imagine for a second if you could feel more energized to do all that you need to do in life, all that you want to do in life. Imagine if you could think clearly, stay focused, if you were more productive. Imagine if you could be more active, and not only that, but level up your physical game. So building lean, strong muscles and bones. How about enjoying a calmer, more relaxed state of being, better sleep where you wake up in the same position that you fell asleep in? And on top of all that, who wouldn't want to age gracefully? Regrow your hair, your natural hair color, have smoother, more youthful skin, maybe no longer require your reading glasses. Imagine if you could reverse the aging process. So, well, did you know this stat that by the age of 30, 60% of our healthy stem cells have already gone dormant, and by 60, they decrease by 90%. So, unfortunately, as we age, our stem cells mutate and go dormant. And this is what causes the wrinkles, the gray hair, the body aches, and impacts our overall health. And not only is the natural aging process contributing to our slower healing process and our health decline, but unfortunately, the modern lifestyle we live in, right, contribute to our ill health, with the constant exposures to toxins in the environment. So think of the chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, and even the man-made synthetic radiation from technology. Over time, all of this leads to cellular dysfunction, making it harder for our bodies to repair and regenerate. So saying all this, stem cells are the body's healing and repair system, replacing the old damaged cells. I really had no idea, 6 months ago what stem cells were, but they are the baby cells that replace the old dying cells. They actually become your heart cells, your lung cells, your skin cells, and even your brain cells. And who doesn't need more brain cells these days? And sure, there's stem cell therapy, right, which is risky, invasive, expensive, and it's actually only about 50% effective. So this is where stem cell regeneration becomes exciting and why the phototherapy patch is such a powerful option. So activating healing with light, or phototherapy, is nothing new. It's been around since the dawn of time. We all know that the sun is a form of phototherapy, signaling our bodies to make vital vitamin D. But photobiomodulation, say that 10 times fast, this is a type of light therapy that uses specific wavelengths of light to stimulate cells that boosts energy production, promotes healing. It enhances how well our cells function. It reduces inflammation, improves blood flow, helps with tissue repair. Best of all, it's non-invasive, it's accessible, affordable, and risk-free. So now what if I told you there was a product, one that uses this very technology of photobiomodulation? So basically using your own body heat, which is a type of infrared light, to increase a naturally occurring copper peptide. Well, that's exactly what the X39 patch does, using our body's own infrared light, our own heat, to stimulate the production of our own, so of our human GHK-Cu peptide. This is known as the holy grail of age reversal. So it's not synthetic peptides. These are your own. So this X39 patch, which happens to be inventor David Schmidt's 39th invention, it bumps up the production of this GHK-Cu, which is naturally occurring. It's a universal copper peptide that goes to work all over the body. So thanks to Lauren Picard, PhD and researcher, we know the incredible benefits of this copper peptide. He isolated it back in 1973, and so there's 50 years of research to back it up. And you can actually find all kinds of studies on pubmed.gov. So this is an online repository of scientific research. And so we know some of the incredible benefits of GHK-Cus. It stimulates blood vessel and nerve outgrowth. So think of regeneration. It boosts collagen and elastin. So again, our own, right? It has multiple anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and even anti-cancer properties. It's capable of resetting over 4,000 genes in our genome. So essentially resetting and repairing your DNA to a younger, healthier state. But here's the clincher. The GHK-Cu reactivates dormant stem cells. So how does this little patch increase GHK-Cu? Well, now that you understand the power of the peptide, let me introduce you to the power of this patch. So LIfewave X39 is a small wearable phototherapy patch. It's about the size of a quarter in Canada. You can see it here on my wrist. So developed by David Schmidt, the founder of LIfewave. It's a patented product. It operates through the process of photobiomodulation, using your body's own infrared heat to activate this crystallized lattice. And so This crystallized structure is made up of organic materials, amino acids, sugars, water, salt, and oxygen. And so this lattice, it acts like a mirror. So it reflects specific light frequencies back into the body, signaling biological changes at the cellular level. The patches are latex-free, non-transdermal. They contain no drugs, chemicals, stimulants, so they are safe to use without interfering with any medications. There are no contraindications because nothing is being absorbed into your skin and into your body. So I'm going to pass the mic over to our resident doctor and light expert, Rachel, to present the amazing benefits of the X39 patch.
Thank you, Beth. And just to take a step back here and talk a little bit about how light actually can change things in our body, because we all know from just our society that we've got medications we take that change the biochemistry in the body. That's mostly what medicine is practiced under in our society. But light, we don't really think about our light environment. And I just want to give something tangible for you to understand that light actually does affect what goes on in the body. And the biggest one, or a couple of big ones that you might be able to relate to are, for example, we are told to go out in the sun and have light strike our skin for a certain amount of time, ultraviolet light, ultraviolet B light specifically, for our body to make vitamin D. So it is not that the light is making vitamin D, the light is affecting our body and causing changes in our physiology and our processes, cellular processes, to make that vitamin D. So our body is doing that. As well, when we go out in the sun, we hope to get a tan instead of a burn, but that tan comes from a pigment that is made by specific skin cells called melanocytes. And so the sun activates certain frequencies of the sun, activate our skin cells to make that pigment melanin. So again, these are just a couple of ways that light is actually changing our body to produce different things. So it's not just about drugs, medications, and biochemical changes. So in terms of the benefits of the X39 and how this works and the light frequencies and what they can do, they actually boil down to the fact that, as Beth said, the GHKCU copper peptide resets over 4,000 genes in our genome. And so one of the genes is the stem cell gene, P63, but there are many other genes that this peptide actually affects. And what that actually translates into for us is a reduction in inflammation and in pain, improved strength and stamina and energy levels, improved muscle and bone density, improved mental clarity and reduction in stress, as well balancing hormones and easing anxiety, improved hair growth and skin appearance. And this comes from, I just want to touch on this, it comes from collagen, an increase in collagen. And most of us think about hair and skin appearance when we think about collagen, but I just want to emphasize here that collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and there is much more to it than just hair and skin. It's actually forming the infrastructure of our body in terms of how our organs support each other, even what all of our fascia is made up of. And the fascia is what holds, again, it's the infrastructure, what holds the body together, as well as forming basically a super highway of a water network throughout our entire body, connecting one part of the body to the other. And this is how light travels through the body, through the water network. And so that's why it is actually extremely important. It also promotes cellular repair and wound healing. And I think one of everyone's favorites, improves sleep quality. And I can attest to this one as well, myself. And so this whole thing, all of these things, and there are many more, just shows you that this is working systemically all over the body. It's not just in one particular part of the body. Really, stem cells replace all of the damaged and broken cells in the body. So it is about working on every single part of the body. And as you can see there as well, it increases stem cell proliferation, by 2,100%. Now that's a massive number. I actually don't know anything else that increases by 2,100%, but next slide, please. All right, as far as long-term results, as I mentioned earlier, and Beth mentioned as well, and just for repetition's sake, in the first few days, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Now, this is not something that we feel, it's not something that we see, it's not even necessarily something that we notice. But again, just to give context to this, in the early 2000s, something that was done, there was a study done called the Human Genome Project, and they were expecting to find between 140 to 160,000 genes in our genome, because that's how many proteins we have in the body. And so it turned out to be a big flop in some respects, because they only found around 20,000 genes. So if you look at 4,000 genes out of the 20,000, that is a massive percentage to be affecting. And again, to give context to this, a lot of people know about or have heard about the benefits of red wine. You may or may not know that the benefit that is talked about has to do with a biochemical called resveratrol. And there's lots of hype about it. It's been bottled as a supplement. You can get it in your health food store. And resveratrol has benefits because it resets 2 genes in our genome. So imagine there's all this hype over something that resets 2 genes. And here we have something that resets over 4,000 genes. So again, that's a big deal. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes more balanced. Within 3 months, collagen is increased. And again, I touched on collagen earlier, and that is a huge component to our body. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. And this was the key thing that got me in because of my mom. And as David Schmidt likes to say, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversal. So how do we wear this patch? So just like Beth showed you, and you see on the picture, it's about the size of a quarter, and it is an adhesive. So it's sticky and it's got a backing on it. So what you do is you take the backing off, you stick it, and on the back of the neck here below C7, that is one of the places that the research studies have been done, and it's an acupressure point, which is why it shows there. But really, you can put it anywhere on your body that you have skin and it sticks, because the effects are systemic. So you put the patch on in the morning, you wear it for 12 hours, you take it off after 12 hours. So if you put it on at 7, you would take it off at 7 at night. And the reason you wear it for 12 hours and you wear it during the day is you wear it during the day because it actually stimulates energy production. So we want energy. We want to feel like we have energy during the day, not when we are trying to sleep. And I do say this because some people have been wearing it accidentally while they were sleeping and not been able to sleep. So you wear it for 12 hours and you have a 12-hour break because you want to avoid what's called attenuation. And what that means is we want to make sure that you are still responding to the stimulus of that light being reflected. Because sometimes what can happen is when you have a stimulus that just doesn't ever stop, then you just start to ignore that stimulus. Just like if you had a kid that was constantly poking you, and hopefully at some point you just start to ignore it if they don't stop. So at the end of 12 hours, you take it off. What I do is actually I put it around my dog's collar, and she gets the benefit of the rest of the patch, because there is about, I don't know, I think it's between 14 and 18 hours in the patch. And so I put it on her collar, and then I put that on her the next day. Or again, I keep saying this, but a lot of people put it in their plants, and they've seen great improvements in their plant growth. Then what you do is you put a patch on the very next day, and you continue that for as long as you want. The recommendation is a minimum of a month per decade you're alive. And this is one thing that I think has come up a lot. People ask, how long do you have to use it, and why do you have to use it for so long? For example, I'm 53. I would do at least 6 months. It's been 6 months for me, but that would be to get the maximum reactivation of your stem cells. Now, it depends on the goal and the reason you're using the patches. I am all about prevention. I would rather prevent problems than having to go back and then try to fix them after they have happened. So for me, this is something I'm going to continue. But for other people, if you resolve whatever issue it is, then you stop. If you want to stop using the patches, then the problems don't necessarily come back. Like if you were to stop a blood pressure medication and your high blood pressure comes back, the healing has already taken place. Whatever healing has taken place, you just start to age again like you were before. So again, you want to make sure with these patches that you drink lots of water. Now, you want to drink water, but you also want to make sure that you have electrolytes in the water. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out and buy quote unquote electrolytes. You can use salt, but an unrefined salt with lots of minerals, because that holds on to water and it helps pull the water into the cells. So it's more about cellular hydration, and just drinking plain water will not do that. You will pee most of that out. And the importance of water is, I touched on it earlier when I was talking about collagen, but water is really the way that light travels in the body. And because this patch works through phototherapy, through light, we want to make sure we have enough water for that light to travel and communicate to all parts of the body that are needed. And again, because this patch increases that GHKCU copper peptide, we want to make sure that we have enough copper in our diet. Now, because of agricultural practices starting in the early 1900s, there's a lot less copper in foods nowadays. We used to get 4 to 6 milligrams a day. Then it was reduced to 3 to 5. And now we're actually lucky if we get 1 milligram in our diet. So it's important to choose copper-rich foods. And I go for the foods before reaching for a supplement for a few reasons. But copper-rich foods, if you can handle it, I know I've seen on Beth's Instagram that she can eat those organ meats with ease, it seems. I actually get the desiccated organ meat supplements for my kids because there's no way they're touching anything. But the other foods are oysters, again, something I can't handle. But then there is seafood, shellfish, which I love, avocados, nuts and seeds. So cashews are particularly high in copper, and seeds are sunflower seeds. And I would say probably everyone's favorite, a little tiny square of dark chocolate actually gives you enough copper for the day. Next slide, please. And so what to expect. Now, this is a big one because of our societal conditioning for things to happen quickly. We take a pill, we see a result. We have a surgery, we see a result. And so that is really quite a deep conditioning. For this, we are using the body's own healing mechanisms, and the body doesn't get sick overnight, although some people still think that that's what happens. But the body actually has to get to almost 70% dysfunctional mitochondria in our cells before we start to see symptoms. So that takes decades to happen. So it would make sense that it takes time for healing. And with these patches, as I said earlier as well, a month per decade you're alive is actually, in my opinion, still pretty quick. So the reason I'm saying this is because everybody's body is different. Everyone is exposed to a different amount of toxins. They've been alive a different number of years. They have different environments, even emotional and mental stresses. And so everyone is going to respond differently, and everyone's going to respond in their own time. So just because one person may see a result quickly in one area does not mean that is exactly what's going on with someone else. Your body knows exactly what needs to take place. It's going to prioritize things for you and your unique person. So instead of talking about diseases like we do in traditional medicine, in this space, we want to talk about the issues that we're dealing with, whether it's, gut GI symptoms or whether you've got headaches, those kind of things. And the body is going to, again, go to where you are where it feels the priority is needed in terms of going to work and healing. You may not necessarily feel what's taking place in the body if it's working on something that you don't even know is damaged. So one thing we have to do is, again, be patient. And if you're tired, that actually means these patches are working. And just like a cell phone has a certain capacity and a battery life, our body is the same. And if we need 100% of our energy to perform all the functions that our body needs to do, with healing, we actually need extra energy to do the healing. So our body may be telling us, you need to slow down in other areas. You need to take a rest. You need to sleep more so we can use that energy towards the healing. So you want to make sure you get extra sleep. And you also want to make sure that you practice deep breathing to allow more oxygen in the body. And that oxygen goes into the mitochondria to help produce energy. So here we have some real results that are visible on this slide. And on the left-hand side, a lot of people are concerned about hair growth and hair thickness and even graying hair. And I have to say, actually, I was noticing in the mirror today that my hair used to be thinning, and it's been over 6 months. I have a lot more, that my hair is a lot thicker. But here we can see on the left that this gentleman there's a little bald spot or a couple of bald spots there. And then you can see to the right of that, or even below, that has filled in quite nicely. And the one on the right-hand side is to show that hairline of a gray color. And then on the right-hand side, we no longer see that gray color. And then on the right of the screen, there is a curvature, which we call scoliosis, a curvature to the spine. So the spine is actually curved. And this one really, it surprises me every time because this was only 4 weeks. She was wearing the X39 for 4 weeks. She was also wearing the LIfewave, which is one of the pain patches, but that doesn't actually do any healing. That just helps with pain control. So really, it was the X39. This was after 4 weeks, and you can see her back is significantly different and straighter. Next slide. Thank you. And so on the left-hand side, this might be a little difficult to see, or maybe it's just my screen, but this woman has what's called vitiligo, and that is where there are parts of the skin that don't have that melanin pigment I was talking about earlier. And this woman said she tried everything and nothing had worked. And then you can see on the right-hand side, there's a nice even tone, even kind of pink color to her skin. And so that one, I don't know the timing of that, but it's clear that she has a nice uniform color to her skin now. And on the right-hand side, this is this image is of a knee replacement post-operatively. And this is something that I've seen on a regular basis. I've seen a lot of wounds, surgical scars, and people coming back to the operating room. And even, one can relate to even just cutting themselves and knowing how long your skin takes to heal. But this is really quite incredible. Only 2 days of using the patch to have this type of improved wound healing, a speedy recovery is crazy. And here we have an image of, this was a functional topography map. Now, you don't have to know the details of this, just that on the left-hand side was before using the patch, in the middle was 3 weeks after using the patch, and on the right-hand side, 6 weeks. And so it's a brain scan, and what it's showing is the red color shows inflammation in the brain, and the dark blue is low activity. And what we actually want to see is that lighter blue and green color, because that means there is coherence. And what we want is coherence is the right side of the brain talking to the left side of the brain. We want nice communication. So when you have that red there on the left, before the patches, there was a lot of inflammation and there was not much coherence at all. And this was only 3 weeks, the middle one, only 3 weeks of using the X39. You can see there's no longer any inflammation. There's no red anymore. and there's a little bit of green and a little bit of light blue coming in. And again, on the right-hand side, 6 weeks of wearing the X39, still no inflammation, but there is more green and light blue, meaning more coherence, more communication between left and right side of the brain, which helps with communication in the rest of the body between cells. Next slide, please.
Awesome. So now we're actually going to stop sharing the screen for now because we do have a couple people that are going to share their powerful testimonials with us tonight. I would love to call on Diane Hunt to share your LIfewave, your powerful testimonial.
Hello, hello. I love seeing so many Facebook friends, new community friends on here. So exciting. So yes, I am Diane Hunt. And like the lady said, I was the one that introduced them to this. So lucky me, right? And yes, I was a cardiac nurse for 20 years in the critical care ICU unit in the OR. And when I say I've never seen miracles like I've seen with this patch, I do not say that lightly. I really never saw miracles in the OR. They were more just surgeries and pills we would give. But this, to be all natural with nothing in it that's going into your body, is the best. So for me, it's almost 2 years coming up in January, I was praying for something for probably a good 3 to 4 months to come into my life that would help heal me naturally. I was dealing with long haul COVID or whatever we want to call it, but symptoms that just were not going away, dealing with the heart and then the lungs as well. I would get very short of breath, and then that would throw off my heart, getting palpitations. And this was just ongoing. And I was doing everything naturally, like you name it, I have it, whether it's the wand, it's the Healy, it's, supplements, it's, Reiki, whatever. But nothing was helping. And so somebody reached out, a nurse that lived down in Florida, asked me if I heard of this. And I was surprised because the company's been around for 20 years and I thought I knew all the natural things. And so when I looked at it, I was like, that's so interesting. I've never heard of it. But I did see that it helps with the heart. It helps with inflammation. It helps with pain. I had a dad dealing with sciatic pain, plantar fasciitis, gout. He was really going downhill quick. So I was like, absolutely, send them my way. And so lo and behold, within 24 hours, I was the lucky one. They talk about that one patch wonder. And so lucky, I was within 24 hours, no longer having palpitations or shortness of breath. And for me, that was like a lifestyle change because I wouldn't be able to run. I used to be a runner, work out, and just walking the dogs, I would get very short of breath. So that all changed for me. I never had another palpitation, but I didn't know what else was going to happen. These are all just so many extra perks. I used to have dry eye so bad. Come 9 o'clock at night, my right eye would literally be like dry and very I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's really irritable and irritated. So I would have to go to bed because I couldn't carry on a conversation and talk with my husband. Floaters, I also had floaters going on. I was just putting on some mascara before this call and I was like, I just can't get over even like eyelashes, the length of my eyelashes, eyebrows, how they filled in. I used to have very dry heels. That all went away. So I could go on forever, but I just want to say I didn't even realize the amount of things that this one patch was going to do for my body. I just thought if it could help with my heart and lungs, I would be so happy. Mental clarity, that's the other thing. Then I'll be done. But mental clarity, focus, to me is just incredible. All right, I'm done. I know I got to keep it short.
Amazing. Thank you, Diane.
Sure.
So many amazing positive things in your life, and we're seeing them in ours now too. So I so appreciate that you've reached out to me and were patient and persistent with me because it took you, I know, a little while to get my attention. So I appreciate you and appreciate this opportunity. So I'd love to call on Larry next to share your powerful testimonial.
Am I there?
You are, yes, we can hear you loud and clear. We can see you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here on this call. And Diane, I enjoyed your sharing. It's to hear you share like that, it reminds me of similar of what I went through in the last few years as well. And then when, anyways, I'm getting close to 70 years of age right now, and I always enjoyed very good health and the ability to be active, physically active. I did a lot of years of bicycle training for racing with mountain bikes, and I love to use technology, which would give me measurements of what my heart was doing, and with heart rate, heart variability, I could find out how long it would take me to climb up a hill on my bicycle, and I had lots of data, and I did training because I knew if I did something exercise-wise to my body that it would respond. And I used technology to measure what those changes were. And then, oh, I got a note saying nobody sees me. Oh, you see me? Okay.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. And so I used the technology to give me the feedback, and I had computer programs that would tell me. And what it was telling me is that my body, due to training and looking after myself, I was about 25 years younger than my biological age. And then in fact, early 2021, a group of my friends went for a long mountain bike ride. It was just in a valley over from where we're at. And it ended up being a 8-hour ride over almost 140 kilometers. And we rode very quickly. And that was what my body was able to do in early 2021. Within a couple of months, I had taken some experimental medical treatments, which millions and billions of people around the world did. And it didn't work out well for me. And within a few months, I was noticing that my heart was palpitating. I was getting very tired all the time. And by the time December came around, I was so ill that I was confined to bed, and I had been to the doctor to get whatever help I could get, which was prednisone. It had to suppress my system because there was something going on in my body that I'd never experienced. And between the pain and the inflammation, just going up and down a flight of stairs, I would have to rest to do that. That's how exhausted I was in the space of just a few months. So by doing different things from light therapy and, red light and some supplements and other things, over the next 2.5 years, I gained some of that back. And I pretty well plateaued by the time October came around a year ago. And I was using my bicycle and the technology I had to tell me where I was at. And when I compared the efforts that I could do, it showed me that I was comparing to people that are about 75 years of age. So I estimate in that period, my body had, for whatever reasons, had aged more than 30 years. That's how much my fitness and my well-being had changed. And then thankfully, Rachel in May introduced my wife and I to X39. And again, once I applied the patch, I started noticing changes. I was experiencing floaters. I was experiencing a film that would come down over my eyes. I had brain fog, tinnitus that was so loud it was difficult to have a conversation, and just the inflammation. And if I did any exercise, sometimes it would take 3 or 4 days to recover to the point where I could just go out and ride my bike again for an hour. But the X39 changed all of that. And I love this technology because it reminds me of when I was doing my training and using the technology of computers and other things, because I would just by doing this, it got me excited about learning more about light and all the different things. And here I find myself now, about 7 months later, that I'm exercising, I'm back in the gym, I'm doing weights that I have not been able to do, weights that I haven't been able to do probably in 10 years or more. I do a workout. My body is not sore the next day. I'm training every day on my indoor bicycle, and the numbers that I'm getting through feedback from my computers are telling me that I've increased my fitness by almost 60% from where I was, say, a year and a bit ago, a year and a half ago. And that trend is continuing to improve. So I'm continuing to use the X39 because all of those symptoms that were really made my life difficult and unpleasant are gone. And I have data telling me that day by day I'm improving. So I'm loving my X39. Thank you.
Amazing. That's amazing, Larry. It's the
Yeah.
gift that keeps on giving, it sounds like. Can you can you share too, when did you start experiencing the benefits? Like how quickly after you started wearing the patch did you start seeing effects?
For me, it was within days, and the overall well-being came very quickly. Like it was like it was just like the efficiency of my body improved within days. Everything like, and I think most of the work for me seemed to have happened internally. Like I didn't have a lot of evidence externally to begin with, but Diane talked about heart palpitations. I thought that was just a normal part of life to have your heart race and then stop. I just, my maximum heart rate, sometimes it would go over 200 beats per minute. And now, thankfully, it's down into a zone that, and that's one thing that happened very quickly is my maximum heart rate dropped by about 20 beats per minute. And the vision started to improve. The floaters went very quickly. And, but I noticed right away, and then it just and then what's interesting is here I am 7 months out and I'm feeling so good. And I can't even get back into touch with, what I felt like a year ago.
Wow.
Like it's gone from my memory, thank goodness.
That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. It's such a powerful story. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. We're happy for you. All right. I would love to call on Andia. If you could unmute yourself and share your powerful testimonial.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Andia, and the lovely Rachel introduced me to this patch. And when I heard her share her mom's story, sorry, my mom is here today. I actually wanted to just get the patch because I wanted it for my mom. And I wanted to be supportive, and I was definitely intrigued and was like, well, I would love these benefits. So I started using it as well. I started using it a little bit like a week before my mom did. So I've been on it for just a little over 2 months. And my testimony is evolving as this goes on. So my testimony just probably, 3 weeks ago isn't the same as it is today. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, I used methamphetamines for 12 years of my life, and I'm now in recovery from addiction for 16 years. And I say that because there are some symptoms that I feel like have taken me a very, 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 very long time to heal. My hair has always been quite very thin, and I have heavy hair fall. I've had a diagnosis of ADHD, and I've always been really impulsive and easily distracted. It can't focus on one thing, and I lose motivation in things quickly. And being that my drug of choice was always stimulants, I've drank caffeine for probably over 25 years. And it just so happened that I stopped drinking caffeine on the same day that I started using the patch. And if any of you are familiar what the dreaded caffeine, stopping caffeine is like, you know, nobody wants to do it because you get headaches for about 2 weeks because that's from like the blood going back to into your brain. And there's also chronic fatigue. And who wants to be tired for 2 weeks, right? So I've, you know, quit caffeine in the past here and there, and it's always crept back into my life. It's never lasted. So I start using the patch. I stopped caffeine on the same day, and I didn't get any withdrawal symptoms that first day because I remember thinking like, oh, there must be so much caffeine in my system that I'm not going to get headaches until until the next day. So I wait, and I, you know, day 3, day 4, day 5, I have no caffeine withdrawal, none. In fact, my energy levels are very stable, if not better than it was when I was drinking caffeine. And so when people say they're one patch wonders, I would say in that regard, I was a one patch wonder. But as far as other things, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't feeling too much at the beginning, but now that has very much changed. So Beth, you mentioned dreams. I just actually have been realizing that my dreams are in color now. I've never dreamt in color before. And I also typically don't remember my dreams, and I do remember my dreams. I'm sleeping very, very good, and my energy levels are I would say that they are high. They're really good, and they're stable. It's a good thing. Like I can still go to sleep at night. My energy is very balanced and stable. I do not have significant hair fall anymore. I used to take a shower and I would lose a lot of hair, and I do not that doesn't happen anymore. I've noticed my skin is clearer than before. I can definitely concentrate, and my mental clarity is 100% better, and very much more focused. And my anxiety has lessened as well. I've never been diagnosed with anxiety, but I definitely have always had a low hum of anxiety, and that is not there anymore. As far as motivation, I have always struggled with sticking to you know, exercise things and whatnot. And because of my energy levels being high, I have been lifting weights and working out on a regular basis without even really thinking about it or trying. Definitely much more per week than I used to do. And I've also noticed that my glasses are, I have to schedule an exam because my glasses are feeling stronger than they are supposed to be. And so I have a feeling my eyesight is getting better, but cannot confirm that right now. I really do want to see what my prescription changes into, so I will keep you posted on that. And I've always had loud tinnitus in my ears. I don't know if it was from concerts when I was young or from just the environment, the modern day environment we live in now, but my tinnitus is not as intense. And in fact, it used to give me headaches, and I haven't had any headaches from it ever since I've started using the patch. And the last thing I want to say is I don't know, this might be TMI, but I'm going to share it anyways. So I used to have very significant cramps for about 3 days where I would have to take Advil every 4 to 6 hours, not just 2 Advil. I would have to take 4 Advil. So it was a significant amount of Advil every single day until the cramps subsided, which would usually last 3 days. And I've had my period 3 times now, and I've only had to take the Advil once, and the cramps only last 1 day. That has
Wow.
not been like that my entire life. They've been very severe. Even I've called out to work because they're just like they get that bad. And so that is something that is a significant change that I can hardly even believe that, but I'm gonna take it all because
Yes.
and I can't wait to, you know, feel what it's gonna be like in a couple months. So I'm 46, so I'm definitely gonna give the patch a good 5 to 6 months. But yeah, so that's what's happened so far for me. Thank you for letting me
Amazing.
share.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's super inspiring. Like check, check, check. Did you get the health tracker and have to check like every single box off? Because it's just like massive, massive changes. Super exciting. And I know Diane has said before too, it's like, I mean, this can help everybody, right? With everything. Like it's just kind of endless in terms of what this can do for people. And even things that you wouldn't think would happen are happening. So it's like miracles upon miracles. So super exciting. Rachel, I'm wondering if you wanted to share any further about your mom's progress with her health.
Yeah, I will just touch on that, and I will try to be quick. But my mom is 83 and she's not a picture of health. So I talked about her heart failure. That was sort of the big thing. She's got a lot of other issues with her heart as well. Atrial fibrillation, which is one of the rhythm disturbances, valve problems. She's got sleep apnea. She's a CPAP machine for. She's metabolically unhealthy. She's hypothyroid, and she's overweight, borderline diabetic. I would say she's diabetic, but anyways, the heart was the big thing for me. And we would go walking every day. And because when you're in heart failure and the fluid gets backed up into your lungs, most people have trouble breathing. And so we would walk at a pace that was painful for me because it was so slow. And I again was not expecting anything quick. I was willing to be patient to see any changes. But within 2 weeks, she was walking significantly faster to the point where she was actually talking to me at the same time and walking on an incline, which still blows me away. I can't understand that. And she came to me after 3 weeks with some blood work because she had been monitored for, again, just some markers for heart failure. And she asked me to read them because they were not within the normal range. And because we are always taught, I think in every field, never to treat family members in any kind of capacity. So I told her to go to her doctor, but I was pretty sure he was going to lower her thyroid medication. And sure enough, he did. And he has done that a second time. So we're now just waiting for the time where she doesn't need it anymore. And something else that's pretty significant is she has been struggling with her weight for, I would say, decades. Longer than that, but she's put on weight and she hasn't been able to lose it for, I would say, probably over 30 years. And she's tried everything, although I say tried because, lots of times you sabotage your attempts. But she hasn't really changed anything, and she's starting to lose weight, like lose fat. She actually looks different, which she's pretty excited about. And her friends have even noticed just her energy, her vitality, without even having known that she was doing anything. They asked her what she was doing. And actually she had a friend whose husband said, but she just said, I'm starting these patches, or I've been on these patches. And he said, get me them. He didn't ask any questions. He just because of what she looked like. He's just like, I want them. I want to be on them. So that is my mom so far. And for myself, because I had done a lot of significant, I'm kind of very hardcore when it comes to making changes. I'm pretty type A. And so I made a lot of lifestyle changes when I started coming across all of this light information that changed a lot of problems that I was having. And the big one was energy and sleep. But with the patches for myself, I got sick in 2020 and my cognitive function declined significantly. And it was something that was really concerning to me. I tried a lot of different things to improve it, including sort of like ketosis and different exercise regimes, and again, light and red light therapy and such. And I just didn't feel like I was making significant gains. It was small incremental gains, but not noticeable enough for me. And then I would say just about maybe just over 2 months on the patches, I started to notice changes in my ability to focus, mental clarity, just being able to read and retain things faster and have better word finding. I was really having trouble with word finding before. So that's a big one for me. As well, sleep. I have not been sleeping through the night for many years. And am very sensitive, which I think a lot of people on here who are, especially mothers, you just kind of are very sensitive to any noise after having kids, even like a pin drop. And that was me, literally like a breath. If someone's breathing, I can hear it. And I didn't think it, I've tried everything. I've tried everything, including all the stuff in the kind of quantum realm. And I started the patches. I've used a few different ones for sleep. And what I've noticed was now I'm dreaming. I wasn't dreaming before, or at least I wasn't remembering dreams. And I know that my sleep is deeper because I wake up in a panic often in the middle of the night because I've got teenagers. I go to sleep well before they do, and they're out and I don't know when they've come home. And, there's always that worry that something's happened. And so I wake up and I haven't heard them come in the house, which I normally do. And I run out of my room to my phone to check if they've left a message, call them. And, my daughter keeps like, I'm in my room. I'm in my room. And I'm just like, I can't believe that I did not hear a thing. And even happened just the other night again, because my kids aren't with me all the time. But yeah, it's still like that. So those are the things for myself. And I said my hair is actually getting thicker.
Awesome. It's coming for me too. I can feel it. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen again, and Rachel's going to share about the miracle man behind this company and behind this invention. Go for it.
So I actually am really excited to talk about this person. And I never thought I would feel this way about, anyone who developed anything. But when I wanted the patches, got into the company, started learning about David Schmidt, and, he really, all I can say is he really is the heart and soul of the company and his invention. And he's half the reason that I love this company as well. Really, everything he's very humble and he's just brilliant and really cares about helping people. And although this company, so the company is 20 years old, so it's not a new startup, but he started 20 years ago, not marketing to the public. He actually never intended to market to the public. It all started with his independent contracting with the Department of Defense and creating emergency survival equipment for the Navy SEALs. And this was one of the things that he created, the first patch ever, the Energy Enhancer, so that the Navy SEALs could stay awake, be focused, when they needed to, and not be dependent on stimulants and with all the side effects and addiction that goes on with those drugs, medications. And that's where it started. He had success, but 9/11 hit, and anyone not doing anything, creating anything for the arms race was dropped. And through his connections, through his networking, through talking to people and the stories, he ended up connecting with Jim Quick. I think it's Jim Quick, who's the 4-time champion swim coach at Stanford, and trialing the patches on the swim team. And the first day, 6 out of the 8 swimmers they patched beat their own personal records. They ended up using the patches in the Olympics. I believe it was the 2008 Olympics. And they were just, again, beating records and beating others, to the point where they had to call in the anti-doping team because they didn't believe that they were not on anything. And of course, they didn't find anything because there's nothing in the patches. And so he decided to take a turn after creating a bunch of different types of patches that increase different peptides into the longevity sphere, and decided he was going to create something that helped, that he could look at to increase GHKCU specifically, because he had been researching that, and the X39 was born and released in 2019. I think it's 19 or 20. And that is what has taken the company from grossing 20 million a year to now on track this year for over 600 million. And I believe next year they are predicting $1 billion. And so this man has over 150 patents. He said he doesn't count anymore. He's lost track. And there are lots of clinical trials, again, that are on the website. I think it might be the next slide, that talk about the trials. There is the patent. So this is patented. It is Thanks, Beth. It's not a Me Too product. So this is the only one on the market like it. And I just want to touch on this because there are some other people have approached a lot of people on the call here about other patches that are on the market and thinking that they work the same. They do not. This is the only one of its kind. It is the only one that is patented to increase stem cells, our own stem cells. And so what the patent says is 22 pages, but it really can be boiled down to what is on the slide here, which is the embodiments as results of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, energy improvements, and elevation of antioxidants. I would encourage people to do their own research and go look it up and not necessarily believe everything that is told to them. And you can look up the website. You can look up the website here that is on the bottom. This is www.thisisitinfo.com. And there are some videos on there talking about what phototherapy is, how these patches are phototherapy. Then there are videos with other doctors as well. There are testimonies on there. There are case studies. And again, the patent is there. There's lots of information that you can dive into on this website. So it's a great site to go and look up the information and share with others who are asking for more information on this.
Thank you, Rachel. So it is important to remember that the benefits of this company, of the patch, go far beyond the surface. So maybe that means for you returning to a job that you had to quit because of the pain you were in. Perhaps it's being able to not only return to an active lifestyle like Larry, but level up your physical game, adding muscle gains, setting new goals. Maybe it's achieving financial freedom, as this company is the #1 momentum company in the industry of direct sales. So just simply sharing this out with others allows you to live a life with more ease. So maybe it's paying for your patches, covering an extra bill, or living abundantly. This is all possible with the power of the patch. So let me share with you 3 ways you could get started. So LIfewave offers 3 enrollment options, so you can choose the path that best suits your needs. These prices are in US dollars for a month's worth of patches, so that is 30 patches. They come in a sleeve like this. It's like an envelope, 30 patches in there. So first you can enroll as a retail customer, where you simply place your order, pay the retail price, no strings attached. But who wants to do that, right? You want to leverage the wholesale pricing. And so you can do that in 2 ways. Either sign up as a preferred customer or as a brand partner. And as a brand partner, not only do you unlock the wholesale pricing, but you also secure a spot on the team and can leverage this incredible momentum that the company is experiencing by building a business without additional cost, because all you're doing is paying for the cost of your patches. So what we often see is that people begin to experience success, right, with the products, and they naturally share them with others. They become a walking billboard. They end up building a business, and sometimes even on a full-time basis. So signing up as a brand partner, there's actually no additional investment or commitment. As I said, there is no pressure to ever build or share a business, but there are several enrollment kits available when you first sign up. And so the more that you purchase upon signing up, the better the value. That way you can start sharing them out with friends and family in your life, loan them out to people as they wait maybe for their own order. So it's always amazing to have extra sleeves on hand. So, and our team is the fastest growing team in the organization. As Rachel, I think, alluded to, this is not a Me Too product. So there's no other company that comes close to offering what this product does. Not only does it address people's health goals, but also financial goals with a generous compensation plan. Who doesn't need another stream of income coming in right now? So at this point, I do encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you on the call. They can guide you through the ordering process and set you up with the best package and pricing available. I would love to open it up for questions, but I first want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to really be open to learning about this unconventional healing modality. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And if you have any questions, feel free to put up your hand or unmute yourself, and we'd love to be able to engage with you and answer any questions you might have. I don't know if there's any questions in the chat that maybe we haven't addressed yet.
I have a question.
Great. Yeah, go for it.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm holding my newborn here. She's 10 weeks.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So, I'm certified in applied quantum biology. India invited me here. Hi, India. So it, you don't have to convince me about the technology and how it works because I understand light and just the whole reflecting back makes so much sense to me because I know that that's how women get melasma when they're putting sunblock on their face and they're pregnant and they go outside because you're basically blocking um the light that's striking your skin, that UV, and it's like bouncing back and forth between that lotion. Okay, anyway. What I'm trying to ask here is that how else can this patch affect um postpartum women? Like in terms, do they know how it can affect in terms of um breastfeeding? Because if it's resetting the genes, like what does that mean in terms of like my postpartum state and hormones that I feel like need to be here in order for me to be able to continue breastfeeding? Does that
I
make
mean,
sense?
yeah, I know Rachel can probably jump in here, but I would just, the stem cell and the gene resetting, I mean, it's all about supporting your body do what it knows how to do best, so whatever kind of phase of life you're in, whether it's, regulating the hormones and, cycling or, helping to support your body in this phase. I mean, that's what I'm assuming that this patch is going to help you with. I don't think it's going to negatively impact anything you are naturally doing. But
Right.
Rachel, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit further, if you can.
Yeah, no, well, I was just gonna say like just to be upfront, they didn't do any studies on pregnant women or children just because that's not ethical and
Right.
it's done. But because there is nothing transdermally going into the body, the body is using its own wisdom to, do again, like Beth said, what it is normally doing. So yeah, I can say that there are a lot of people who have been pregnant, who have used the patches, who have babies who breastfeeding, who have used the patches, who have children who have used the patches, young children. So, yeah, there haven't been any studies to show this,
Right.
but really, I mean, the best thing I can say is that our body really knows what to do with when we give it what it all of the requirements and the signals that it's
Mhm.
naturally designed to use, then it will do, optimally what is designed to do. And so there's nothing going into the body. So I mean, that's really
Right. That was my intuition, was like, well, your body's very intelligent and it's just using that light to further do what it needs to do. I don't think it would cut off my milk supply. Okay, but it was just the words resetting the stem cell or resetting the genes that kind of like made me wonder.
so that what that meant was basically resetting them to a younger state.
Okay.
So it's not changing, like it's not resetting them into something different. It's just resetting them to a younger state
Okay. Okay.
with less of the damages.
I'm hoping it would help me with I'm sleeping pretty good, but what I'm hoping it would help me with is daytime stress. Not necessarily energy, but just feeling like like I'm taking care of a toddler and a newborn and you're constantly preventing fires, So that's what I'm leaning towards.
There's lots of testimonials. I'm not sure if you're in the Facebook group Patching with Purpose, but that is one where you can search up lots of different testimonials. And there's lots of people who have had reduced anxiety, significantly reduced anxiety. So
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, and on that note, yeah, the Facebook group Patching with Purpose, if you're wanting to be added to it, so you don't necessarily have to be a LIfewave member. So anyone that's new on here, if you want to reach out to the person that invited you on the call, you can always be invited to that private Facebook group and search up testimonials on that private Facebook group. And actually Billy Joe made a good point. So just in terms, I think, hydration for you, especially when you're breastfeeding and using the patch, I think, that's super important, right? In terms with the minerals, with the trace minerals and keeping hydrated for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm already working on the water in our the water network of our body, our exclusion zone water. I've been
Right.
working on
You
that.
know all
So
about it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself.
I have one.
Yeah, Laura. Hi there.
Yeah, yeah, just make a question on, so I've been wearing the X39 probably 6 weeks, and I added in the X49 because I wanted to wait. I think you guys said to wait a month and just exclusively try the X39. So I did that, and I was in a high EMF environment for 7 days and couldn't control it. Controlled what I could, but yeah, I was concerned about that. So I read somewhere, I think maybe the description of the X49 talks about when you wear the two together, it's like creating a Faraday cage around the body. So I decided to wear them at night, and I did sleep okay. I did sleep well, and I'm feeling good. And I actually slept in that higher environment, which I normally don't. So that was interesting to me. So now I'm on a schedule where I'm wearing them at night. I'm just wondering, do some people wear them at night? I know you're saying for some it may be too energizing, but if I'm getting results doing it at night, is it okay? Does anybody wear them at night?
Well, okay, what I would say, first of all, is the X49, I mean, it's not studies, they did muscle testing. A lot of people have reproduced it.
Okay.
That it's not the combination, X39 and 49, it's actually just the 49. So you don't need to wear the 39 and 49 together at night.
Ah, okay.
I would wear, if you're going to try that, I would wear the 39 during the day and then maybe try the 49 at night.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't actually know of anybody that's wearing the 39 at night that has slept, because I know some people have, the feedback that I've gotten with some people when I follow up and they're like, oh, I'm not sleeping. And then I said, okay, what time are you taking the patch off? And it's like, oh, well, it is one person who was putting it on her husband at night because she couldn't get him in the morning. And I was like, well, no wonder he's not sleeping.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I actually had one of my best, I think my best ever sleep score. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm an outlier, or this X49 is my patch. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I saw another thing, which it's a little too early because I shouldn't say anything. I'm gonna wait. I'll give you my testimonial when I've taken out the other factors and variables. But yeah, I'm writing down notes. Let's just say, since I put that X49 patch on.
Well, then now I'm curious, if you wear the X39 during the day and the 49 at night, if you'll sleep even better.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. Right, challenge accepted. And one little question was, you mentioned early on in the presentation something about 60%. Oh, hang on, I wrote it down. It was, give me one sec. I'm taking notes to learn all this. Okay, 60% are gone at what age? Was that stem cells?
Yes. So at 30 years.
30.
Yeah, 30 years of age.
Okay.
50% have gone dormant.
Yes, that's right. And then by 60 years of age, it's 90% have gone dormant.
Okay, that was probably on a slide, right? Was it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'll go back and find that. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. Hi, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
I got a weird question because I have an aunt who has
heart issues. She had open heart surgery recently, or back in the summer. Anyway, I was talking to her because she's about the light and everything. And Rachel told me I needed to come to this meeting, and I just happened to talk to her yesterday about it. And my uncle takes these patches. He's done remarkable with it. I just found out all this stuff yesterday on a outing with my aunt. And anywho, she was saying that she's highly allergic to stuff putting on her skin. She gets like red burning. Even when they put the electrocardiogram things on her. So I'm wondering about the adhesive for these patches. Does she have the same reaction? So, weird question.
It's not weird at all.
Okay.
Well, it's not weird at all. And because I think it's 1 in 10,000 people do have a reaction. It's non-latex, but still there is that statistic. And actually what you can do, and what a lot of people do who have sensitivities, or even kids, is you can actually just stick it on the inside of like the clothing. So it doesn't have to be that the side that is sticky is against the skin. It can be the other side as well. And if you have it, because it's heat activated, if you had it in a pocket, then you would be activating it because it's using infrared heat, right? Which penetrates deeply. And so if you kept it in a pocket, not intending to use it, that would be activating it. So even in a pocket, so I think some people have used it with their kids. They put it on inside their pillowcase or something if the kid didn't want to actually use it. I think I heard that, but yeah. So the crystal lattice reflects the light regardless of which side the patch is on.
I don't see any more hands up. Does anyone want to unmute themselves and ask a question?
Hi.
Abina, hi.
Yes, I have a friend with type 1 diabetes, taking insulin every day. And she's wondering if you have any testimonials on the patch for that. I've checked the This Is It info, haven't found anything there. And I'm going through the Patching with Purpose. But have you heard anything? You may not have at this point, but just checking.
Actually, I have seen a couple of different testimonials about blood sugar levels regulating with the use of the patch. However, type 1, I don't know, Rachel or Diane, have you come across anything specific about type 1?
The only thing I've seen is regulating blood sugar levels. So being able to reduce the amount of insulin being used.
Right. That's what I would expect to see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. So yeah, and there may be a couple other Facebook groups to check out. And even I would encourage people, even on YouTube, there are some powerful testimonials on YouTube. If you're searching up a specific condition or ailment and you search up LIfewave X39, there's often a lot of different videos, testimonials on there as well. As well as, so Rachel had mentioned that This Is It info.com. I don't know, Abina, if you had tried that website in the testimonials section.
I did.
Okay.
It's packed with testimonies, but I couldn't find anything for the insulin-dependent diabetes yet.
Right. Okay. Any other questions at all? All right. Well, as I said, reach out to the person that invited you on this call. They can answer further questions. They can get you set up with the best price and package available. This video recording will be on our YouTube channels. Rachel has one and I have one as well. So this will be out tonight and you can share it out with the masses, right? We want to inspire people, heal people. This is super exciting for us that I feel like we're just on this massive momentum wave, and it's the hope that, you know, people are looking for in this world right now. So it's super exciting. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming to learn about this unconventional healing modality that is taking the world by storm. So I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and take care.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. It's nice to see everyone's faces.